A recent bodybuilding media discussion featuring Keone Pearson has sparked major conversation across the fitness world after the reigning star spoke about the importance of media coverage in growing the sport of bodybuilding. During the discussion, a clip of Pearson explaining the value of bodybuilding media was played, leading the hosts to strongly agree that while some professional athletes criticize media outlets and coverage, the reality is that media exposure remains one of the most important tools for expanding bodybuilding and building athlete popularity. The conversation touched on an issue that has existed in bodybuilding for decades. Many competitors appreciate media attention when it helps increase their visibility, promote sponsorships, or build hype before competitions. However, at the same time, some athletes frequently criticize podcasts, news outlets, interviews, YouTube channels, and bodybuilding commentary platforms whenever coverage becomes controversial or overly critical. According to the hosts, that criticism often overlooks how important media actually is to the success of the sport itself. Without interviews, contest coverage, training videos, social media discussions, podcasts, and fitness news platforms, bodybuilding would struggle to maintain mainstream relevance. Unlike larger sports organizations with massive television deals and global broadcasting contracts, bodybuilding relies heavily on digital media and creator-driven exposure to keep fans engaged year-round. That is exactly why Keone Pearson's comments resonated with so many people in the industry. Pearson, who has rapidly become one of the most recognizable names in bodybuilding, understands firsthand how media visibility can help transform an athlete's career. Over the last several years, he has gone from being a talented prospect to one of the biggest stars in the 212 division and one of the most discussed physiques in all of bodybuilding. Much of that rise has been fueled not only by his physique success, but also by the constant media attention surrounding his career, interviews, training footage, and competition appearances. The bodybuilding world today operates very differently than it did decades ago. In previous eras, fans mainly depended on magazines and contest footage to follow athletes. Modern bodybuilding, however, is driven by instant content. Training clips, physique updates, podcasts, live streams, YouTube breakdowns, and social media posts now shape athlete popularity almost daily. A single viral interview or physique update can dramatically increase an athlete's fanbase within hours. That level of exposure creates opportunities beyond competition placings. Athletes who successfully build strong media profiles often gain larger sponsorships, better business opportunities, coaching demand, merchandise sales, and broader recognition within the fitness industry. In many cases, media presence becomes just as important as contest results when it comes to building a long-term career. The hosts in the discussion emphasized this point repeatedly. They explained that bodybuilding media does not simply exist to report contest results. It creates storylines, rivalries, excitement, and emotional investment around athletes. Fans become attached to personalities through interviews, documentaries, behind-the-scenes content, and online discussions. That connection keeps audiences engaged throughout the entire season instead of only watching competitions. Keone Pearson himself is a perfect example of this evolution. Over the last few years, Pearson's popularity exploded not only because of his performances on stage, but because fans constantly followed discussions surrounding his physique updates, Olympia preparations, and possible move into the open division. Media conversations around his future created enormous excitement among bodybuilding fans worldwide. Online bodybuilding communities have also played a major role in keeping those conversations alive. Reddit discussions, podcasts, and fan-driven debates continue to generate huge engagement whenever Pearson's name appears, especially regarding his future potential in the men's open category. The hosts also pointed out that criticism of media often becomes contradictory. Some athletes complain about negative headlines or controversial opinions, yet simultaneously benefit from the increased attention those discussions generate. In combat sports, basketball, football, and other major sports, debates and media narratives are understood as part of the entertainment side of competition. Bodybuilding, according to the panel, is no different. In fact, many believe bodybuilding actually needs stronger media presence moving forward. The sport remains heavily dependent on dedicated fans, social media creators, independent journalists, and digital platforms to maintain momentum outside of major contests like the Olympia or Arnold Classic. Unlike mainstream sports with weekly televised schedules, bodybuilding has long periods between competitions where media content becomes essential for maintaining audience interest. That content keeps athletes relevant throughout the year. Physique updates, prep series, gym footage, interviews, and analysis videos help fans stay emotionally connected to competitors during off-seasons and contest preparations. Without that constant flow of content, many athletes would struggle to build recognizable personal brands. The discussion also highlighted how media coverage can elevate newer competitors. Young athletes entering the IFBB Pro League often gain early fan support through interviews and online exposure before they ever become title contenders. By appearing on podcasts, YouTube channels, and fitness platforms, rising bodybuilders can quickly build audiences and establish themselves within the industry. That exposure can completely change a career trajectory. The hosts argued that bodybuilding media should not be viewed as an enemy by athletes, but rather as one of the key forces helping the sport survive and evolve in the digital era. Even controversial discussions often keep bodybuilding active in public conversation, increasing overall engagement across the community. At the same time, the panel acknowledged that responsible coverage matters. Constructive criticism, fair reporting, and professional analysis remain important for maintaining credibility within the sport. However, they emphasized that disagreement and debate are natural parts of competitive entertainment. Ultimately, the conversation surrounding Keone Pearson's comments reflected a much larger truth about modern bodybuilding. Today's athletes are no longer judged only on stage performances. Their visibility, branding, personality, and ability to connect with fans all play massive roles in determining their success within the industry. Media platforms help create those connections and allow athletes to become more than just competitors. For Keone Pearson, who has become one of bodybuilding's biggest stars partly through constant online attention and fan engagement, the value of media is obvious. His comments served as a reminder that while some professionals may criticize media coverage, the sport itself continues to depend on it heavily for growth, exposure, and long-term relevance, and as bodybuilding continues evolving in the social media era, that relationship between athletes and media may become even more important than ever before.